Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steph from the High Moon Podcast, and we're gonna talk about Andrew Tate, man. I mean, I know everybody's jumping on it, everybody's talking about it, so I figure why not, right? I mean, he got arrested for human trafficking, right? I mean, this is the Manosphere prophet, right after Kevin Samuels, and I know that he really had a strong position, in the Manosphere space, just the RP space, and everything like that, right? And I mean, look, I don't agree with everything Andrew Tate says. I know he was more so an extremist in that sense when it comes to the RP community. But I mean, there's some things that he made sense on, right? Or some things you can take away with, right? I always try to be careful with these guys in this space that are very extreme and very devout in their principles. They're passionate, cool. I respect that. But just for me in my day-to-day life and how I apply some of these they say is more so I take bits and pieces of it, right? Because I mean, listen, these guys have money, or so we think they have money, but they have money and, they can take these stances, right? They're high value based because of their visibility, their image, their following, their large fan base, right? So they can kind of be a little more cavalier with what they say and just kind of be more devout and not really get a lot of blowback, right? But Andrew Tate definitely has been, kicked off a lot of different platforms, here on YouTube as well as on Twitter, even though he got reinstated. I don't think he's on Instagram. And yeah, so anyways though, so Andrew Tate, right? I mean, he's been on some people's podcasts and, he shares a lot of unique information and how to, not just with relationships and women, but just in terms of like leveling up and being able to make a lot of money and, basically, becoming high value, right? And it's kind of taking on the Kevin Samuels, 2.0 type, but in a different way, right? So now we fast forward to him being arrested, right? And I mean, do you guys who follow Andrew Tate or really take his teachings, right? I mean, does this really cause a blemish in the space, right? I mean, does this arrest kind of come off as fraudulent? I mean, look, I don't know how Romanian courts are, but if it's similar to here, like the States, I'm sure that he will have his chance to defend himself and have a fair, or he'll have the right to defend himself against these charges fairly. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, for Andrew Tate, right? He has this course on his Hustler University. He has a lot of courses about just, networking other people and being able to pretty much level yourself up. I mean, I saw somewhere that he had like a net worth of $355 million. And he has this Hustle University course, just a community where people can exchange ideas, learn. There's professionals apparently in here. I'm not a member of this course or a Hustle University, right? But I mean, this is okay. Whether this girl was trafficked or not, right? I mean, why do you still have girls living with you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this course is so profitable, why do you need to have the cam girls? You know what I'm saying? Or why do you need to have girls there still running the cams? You know what I'm saying? And I was confused earlier because I know he was on other podcasts saying that he doesn't do it anymore, but it's to come to find out, I guess he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're so high value, right? If you're so high value, why do you need working women in the cam business around you? Or why are you still affiliated with that, right? I thought that he's already kind of elevated beyond that, and I think this whole situation is just going to tarnish him, man. I mean, he got bodied by the 19-year-old environmentalist chick. I thought that was funny when she talked about small, email me at small dick energy at whatever email. That was funny. That was hilarious, right? But I mean, I don't know how the manosphere space is going to feel about Andrew Tate going forward. I mean, I know his followers are very devout, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, he says a lot of things that men like to hear, but it's also kind of one of those things where it's like, be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? It's almost one of those, he's no different than these other people who are in different spaces, these evangelists in the religious community and stuff like that. Like, they talk a good game, they talk the talk. They may appear they walk the walk, right? And they're selling you something as well too, right? A hope, a level of prosperity that you can reach to, right? That you can become. I mean, Andrew Tate is no different, it's not to take away of some of the, maybe if you wanted to do some of the important things that he may say that may make sense on a surface level, but when you peel back into what he's really about, you know what I'm saying? I mean, is this the guy you really want to be following, right? I'm not saying that everything he says is wrong or that you shouldn't, follow Andrew Tate, but it's almost kind of like we all still need to be kind of like an independent thinker, right? He's down bad right now, man. He's down really bad, and he's gonna have his right, or hopefully you think he's gonna have his chance in court to defend himself. But I mean, whether this scenario with the human trafficking thing is, come to find out, maybe a misunderstanding, whatever, or even if it is legitimate, obviously, like, if it's real, then yeah, it's just very a shame on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just really disappointing, and it really just highlights just kind of like, I mean, hey, a picture of a bag with money. So it's like, it goes back to like showing that image of being wealthy, right? Because us men, we like to see other people wealthy before we buy into it, right? But if this whole thing is true, then yeah, I mean, he deserves to receive all the consequences from his actions, right? And if it's not true, then it's unfortunate that people want to see this man being torn down, right? Just based off of kind of like how his persona, his bravado, and everything. But I mean, yeah. I mean, he's worth what, $355 million? That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, if you're worth that much money, why do you still have cam girls, right? Why are you still involved with dealing with online girls, man? Like, if you're that high value, that rich, that successful, you should be well above that, man. Like, cool if you have girls around you, whatever, but in terms of working women in that business, you know what I'm saying, it's just gonna lead to just so many gray areas. And at any moment, one of those girls can say, I'm here, I'm not here, I'm here against my will, you know what I'm saying, and you're in a whole lot of trouble, which he finds himself in. It's funny that this is coming after the back and forth with the 19-year-old, and and his pizza box, that possibly led to them knowing that he was still in Romania, or it was the smoking gun, right? But as far as the manosphere space goes, it's just kind of like, these guys, man, they're into just some nonsense, right? And it may not be fair to Tate if it comes out that he may be innocent, right? I'm not trying to add qualifiers, but I want to be fair to both sides here, because I know there's people that are supportive of Andrew Tate and whatnot, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, you're just in this situation, right? And being high value is not to find yourself in these type of predicaments, right? Nah, man, this is bad, dude. Like, this is just terrible, man. This is awful. That he's, if it's true that he's part of, him and his brother are part of doing human trafficking like that, that's just ridiculous, man. It's just, be careful of your idols and who you follow, man. It's okay to have idols and to have people you look up to, but understand that these individuals are flawed, right? All of us are flawed to some degree. You know what I'm saying? And if they are saying things that you like, be careful of people who are talking to you and saying things that you like to hear, but it doesn't mean that you should maybe try to, emulate their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Nah, man, like, yeah. And I was looking through his Hustle University, man. He wants $49 a month. I saw, where was it, man? Yeah, he wants like $49 a month, right? And then once he gets 170,000, members, he's gonna make it 147. Like, why up the price? You know what I'm saying? Like, what, you don't have the data, the servers, the resources, the data center to manage 170,000. You just want to up it at 170. Like, what's the point of that, right? Don't you want more people to join, right? It's just sometimes some of these things just looks like a money grab, man. And I'm also curious as to people who actually joined Hustle University and actually went through some of these lesson plans and actually became really successful, right? Maybe some, but not a lot, probably, right? Definitely not all the people who are buying in to the course. It's just, man, it's the tricks have been the same ever since conning and scheming have existed. It's just the method, the avenues is just a little different, right? So, I don't know, man. Andrew Tate, the Manosphere RP prophet is, and his brothers in some hot water, man. Like, damn, that is crazy, man. So, I guess this is just a lesson that, hey, your idols, they're not perfect. They're going to find, be careful, these prophet types, these prosperity types, these guys with an edge to them. Yeah, they got an edge. All right. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to know what that edge is? So we're going to see what continues from this, if these charges stick. If they do, I don't, because it's a U.S. person, I wonder if but the crime is in Romania, so I don't know if we'll get extradited to the U.S. You know what I'm saying? I just think the U.S. just got involved because there's a U.S. citizen that was notified by the embassy, but I believe by the woman's boyfriend, girlfriend. But yeah, so yeah, no, yeah. Curious spot for 49. I wonder what, listen, I'm not trying to knock on House University. I'm sure maybe it has helped people, but it just, to me, it just falls in that category of just another con type of sale, another buy my book type of sale, right? Buy this course and you'll be like me, right? You'll be rich, right? So yeah, man. But Andrew Tate, man, all that talk about avoiding police type stuff and living under the radar and everything like that. He's alluded about it. He's talked about it in his podcast. He's like, oh, I can go off the grid if I want to at any moment and stuff like that, and knowing how to, navigate, right? Not necessarily if you're on Twitter having a beef and you want to be funny with your comeback and have a pizza box and people know where that pizza box is and it's a local pizza chain. You know what I'm saying? Just not smart all the way around, man. Just not. And if this whole thing is true, not cool, man. Living this lifestyle, and I'm sure he makes his money, probably a lot of his money from the Hustle University and the cam. But it's just kind of why the cam girls, man? Why still doing why still have webcam girls? I know that's a big thing in Europe, especially in Romania, but it's like these guys are addicted to the money. But I understand he was off other platforms, so he has to make money. But you're so smart. You have all these ways of making money. Why are you resorting to cam girls? You know what I'm saying? It's so weird, right? We're going to find out what happens going forward. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.